Well, welcome to Divine Hand for another soulful, insightful spiritual message. Take what resonate, leave what doesn't. Collective. I pre-pull some cards for our convenience. With that being said, let's get started. So, this is about a past life, karmic lessons, repeated patterns. You're being divinely guided to walk away from something. Okay, so let's get into it. So, the oracle card I pulled was people pleasing codependency. Okay. And so this is like overextending yourself to please people. This is like a fear of conflict or loss of personal boundaries. This is neglecting your own needs. This also speaks of examining where you are giving too much of yourself to gain approval, love, or acceptance. Okay, so your well-being is not dependent on other people approval. Okay, it may also indicate a pattern of like codependencies when regarding relationships where you feel responsible for the other person's happiness at your own cost. Okay, so like setting those boundaries, right? Doing that self-reflection, right? Practicing that self-love, like prioritizing your needs without guilt, releasing control. Okay, recognizing that you can't fix everyone and make everyone happy. Okay, at the end of the day, seeking that support. Consider therapies, support groups, or maybe like spiritual guidance to break those codependency patterns. Okay, so there's a need to just honor your needs and your emotions. You are enough collective, without needing to please others. Okay, so I pre-pulled some oracle cards, some more oracle cards from my second deck. And the first one is perspective. Okay, so this is like seeing the big picture, right? This says better off, happiness, clear headspace. Okay, so this is like shifting your mindset, right? Being aware of those bias and those assumptions you may have regarding a person, place, or thing. Okay, so the card we pulled with that was the temperance card. And so this is like saying, right, there is going to be a need to have patience, like with the way you think. Okay. To to for things to come into balance within yourself. Okay. Um, so like have that self-love, and these are behaviors that need to be unlearned. Okay, so this is not like an overnight thing. We could be talking about a Sagittarius, like things that you've done that was not so loving towards yourself, right? To please other people to a certain degree, right? This is finding balance between extreme, and between giving and receiving, like working and resting, or desires and restraining yourself regarding people, right? This is tied directly to the perspective message, or the perspective oracle card. Okay. um Sometimes the solution is just not doing more, but just adjusting your approach. Okay, is what I'm getting here. Okay, so then we have the 10 of wands. And so this is like, you're feeling overwhelmed because you may be a people pleaser. Could be this heavy Sagittarius. We got heavy Sagittarius. Got Sagittarius 3 times in this read. So this is like, ending that cycle of like, heavy burdens, right? Being overwhelmed, responsibilities being weighed down, right? It indicates that you may be taking on too much without delegating or releasing unnecessary weight. Okay, so from the perspective, right? Focus your lens on like releasing is what I'm getting here, right? So whether it's a person, place, or thing. Okay, give me clarify the temperance card and the 10 of Wands, please. All right. So yeah, we got the World card in the up. So this is like closing cycles on that, right? This is like closing cycles, and my grandson just sat his little head up. This is like closing cycles on shifting your, beginning a new cycle and shifting your perspective and closing the cycle on people pleasing, right? Or codependency to please someone. So the next oracle card I have is the trap card. Okay, so someone is feeling stuck or restricted. Okay, limited choices or options, right? Emotional or mental confinement. Okay, and then we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is like you're juggling, right? This is like, you're juggling to find balance, okay? There's a need to find balance, okay? Untie yourself, okay? Um, and we can be talking about any type of codependencies, just regarding like karmic patterns or lessons that's on repeat, okay, is what I'm getting here, right? This can be a Capricorn, okay? So this is the key to maintaining flexibility and priorities with what matters the most to you, okay? And then we got the Nine of um Wands. So this is like, standing your ground, right? So like untying yourself or from feeling trapped, from people pleasing or what have you, right? um and show yourself some self-love, right? You're tired, you're drained, okay? This is stuff is draining your energy, okay, is what I'm getting. Let me clarify the Two of Pentacles, and thank you. So yeah, we got the Ten of Swords. So it's like, yeah, there's a need to end this feeling trapped, from juggling, right? And trying to stand your territory or stand up, for other people, right? With the people pleasing and codependency card, right? So it's like you're near dead. This might be like killing you in some type of way. Bad health is what I'm getting, right? Um, and so there's a need to um heal some things within yourself, right? Your mind, because this is mental as well, right? So someone is suffering in silence is what I'm getting too. So yeah, there's a need for you to like in that cycle. So the next card is nourish yourself, right? So like that self growth, that self focus, and soul searching. So there's a need for someone to do some soul searching regarding people pleasing and shifting their perspective and healing and right releasing some burdens, ending those cycles, juggling, right? Just standing up for people that don't stand up for you, right? And it's killing you, right? So having that self growth and that self focus, right? And then we got the Seven of Swords, okay? So like there's a need to be strategic when it comes to that. And then um the nourishing is like that self-care, right? So you can't pour from an empty cup, so you have to replenish yourself, okay, is what I'm getting here. And so it's like the Seven of Cups is basically indicating, a need to be mindful about where you invest your energy, okay? Some resources may be a risk not worth taking, okay? So there's a need with the Two of Wands is the next one, right? To plan and use your foresight, right, to expand your horizons. It's suggesting that the nourishment also comes from clarity of direction and making deliberate choices about your next step. Give me one for the thank you. Yeah, so you can gain. We got the Ten of Cups, so you can gain that emotional stability and that happiness, right? Um, and that clarity. Okay, that love is what I'm getting here, okay? Yeah. So with that being said, thank you for listening and I'll catch you on the next one.